So, I'm going to be using the Reina Del Caribe Palette. I'm going to have to look that up to make sure I said it right. From Alamar Cosmetics. This is the inside. It's actually really pretty. I got introduced to the Alamar Cosmetics because of the Encanto collection, which I got most of. And then, so I decided that I would try their Spanglish, or not the Spanglish, but because the Spanglish palette is like pinks and purples, and this is not. This is more my speed. I like this more. Yeah. So we're gonna try this out, see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with the MAC Paint Pot primer in Painterly. I always use this. It is the only primer that works for my oily lids, and even then it only works so well. Then I'm going in with the shade Cafécito, which is a nice brown. It's not as dark as I would probably like it, so I do end up going in with black. The black I end up using is MAC Carbon, but it's a nice shade. I guess it's a good depth. I just wanted it to be darker than it is. The lighting will do this. I don't know why. Then the next shade is Tropico. And then I go in with Coco Taxi. Is that light shade, and then I go back in with Tropico. To bring it forward, I'm going to do a cut crease, so I'm going to ignore some of my lid. But then I go back in to kind of get that harsh line to go away with Coco Taxi. And just buff the hell out of it. It's a nice kind of yellow shade. I go back in with Coco Taxi to start the lower lid inner corner. And then after that, I go in with Tropico and end up using Cafécito as well, just to try to amp it up a little bit more, because it did kind of disperse, and then I want to bring that a little bit forward. I believe I end up actually going, like, cutting my crease and, like, hiding most of the Cafécito that I put over it. But that is going to be the Carbon shade from MAC. It's a black. Just to give it a little bit more depth. Obviously, if you're going to use black shadow, use the black shadow first. This is just to give it a little bit more depth. That's it. Okay, so that was just to show you the MAC palette. I made that MAC palette with the assistance of MAC Biltmore, but this is to show the shades that I used in the palette for Reina Del Caribe. So for these, I actually used 6 of the 8 shades. I just went in harsh. This is actually ABH primer. Missa, I think, is the one that used it, and ultimately I used it for my cut creases too. Blending the edges, because it's super important for me to blend the edge, like, just to disperse that cut crease, so it's easier to blend later and there's no harsh line. Going in with El Malezon is the first shade. It went on so beautifully. And then I end up going in with Celia. And not as bright as in the pan, but that could be because of what I'm putting it over. This is just a nice transition for Varadero. Varadero is the blue. Again, not as much punch as I would like, but it could very well be because I'm putting it over lighter shades. And but it's still they're beautiful shades. Like, look at that. Isn't that a gorgeous blue? But I end up putting that in and then trying to blend that edge too. I'm going to come in with the black shade by MAC Carbon. just to darken it up. Again, if you're gonna do dark, I was taught to do dark first, but this was an afterthought since Cafécito wasn't as dark as I wanted originally. So, real quick, this is the finished look. I did Alamar Cosmetics Coquetta and ColourPop Howlin'. But yeah, that's how it came out.